Emotional and social experiences are the energizing force behind the physical and cognitive attainments we have considered. From the very beginning, emotions organize and regulate many aspects of the child's experiences. Their cognitive processing, their social behavior, and even their physical health. For tender, loving care helps children recover from illness and supports their physical well-being. In early infancy, babies show signs of almost all the basic emotions. Over time, their emotional messages become better organized and specific. A major emotional milestone between 6 and 10 weeks is the appearance of the social smile. It draws parents into pleasurable interaction with the baby, and as a result, infants smile all the more. Soon their smiling becomes more selective, reserved for special people in their lives. Laughter appears around 3 to 4 months, and at first occurs in response to very active stimuli. As infants understand more about their world, they laugh at more subtle discrepancies from their usual experience. Expressions of sadness are also clear. They bring caregiver and baby into close contact. Fear, rare in the early months, increases with age, an adaptive response as infants begin to move about. It holds in check their drive to explore, protecting them from dangerous situations. In the second half of the first year, the most frequent expression of fear is to unfamiliar adults, a reaction called stranger anxiety. A stranger's style of interaction, holding out a toy, playing a familiar game, and approaching slowly, can ease a baby's fear. A parent holding the baby and communicating positively can draw the infant into friendly interaction. Once fear develops, infants start to use the familiar caregiver as a secure base from which to explore and a haven of safety when distress occurs. They also begin to engage in social referencing, relying on the emotional cues of trusted adults to appraise uncertain situations. As infants develop emotionally, their temperament, unique quality and intensity of emotional reaction, becomes evident. An obvious dimension of temperament is sociability. Some children are shy, and others are more outgoing. Children also vary in attention span. Some can concentrate for long periods of time. Others are easily distracted by surrounding stimuli. Activity level is yet another dimension of temperament. Some children are cautious, whereas others are on the move and willing to take risks. Some children are patient and persistent in the face of challenge, whereas others are easily frustrated. For children to develop at their best, caregivers need to be responsive to the child's temperament, recognizing the child's individual characteristics while encouraging more adaptive functioning. Attachment, the strong, affectionate tie we feel for special people in our lives, builds over the first year of life. At age 2 weeks, Anna Marie, not yet attached to a specific caregiver, permits Professor Burke to hold her. As she snuggles against Professor Burke, she evokes loving care. Between 6 weeks and 6 to 8 months, infants respond differently to a familiar caregiver than to a stranger. Still, they do not protest when separated from the parent. By 6 to 8 months, attachment to the familiar caregiver is clearly evident. Infants show separation anxiety, in that they become upset when the adult, whom they have come to rely upon, leaves, and they try to maintain her presence. And by the end of the second year, rapid growth in representation and language permits toddlers to understand some of the factors that influence the parents' coming and going. As a result, they tolerate short absences more easily. Sensitive, loving care supports the development of a secure attachment bond. Securely attached infants have mothers who respond promptly to infant signals and handle their babies tenderly and carefully. Although warm caregiving predicts secure attachment for both parents, as infancy progresses, mothers and fathers begin to relate to babies in different ways. Mothers devote more time to physical care and playing conventional games. Fathers' play is usually more novel and physical, especially with sons. This style may help children prepare for the exciting, unpredictable aspects of interacting with peers. Among couples who share parenting responsibilities, fathers retain their arousing play style in addition to looking after the baby's physical well-being and need for affection. Research shows that attachment has far-reaching consequences for the child's cognitive and social development. For example, a secure attachment bond fosters a sturdy sense of self, which starts to build in infancy. The child's first task is to recognize the self as a separate being, distinct from people and objects in the surrounding world. To find out if 11-month-old Nicole is aware of her unique visual appearance, her dad dabs red dye on her nose. Nicole shows no special reaction to this change of appearance. But at 23 months, Zachary realizes that he looks different. He runs to get a Kleenex to wipe off the red dye. And Kristen also recognizes herself. She looks, smiles, and acts coy in front of the mirror.